I'm sorry. Counseling?
Well, yes, counseling. I think that it can help you and your son get to the bottom, the root of his anger.
Well, in my family, we usually just go to church and usually God got
Mrs.
us.
Morgan, we will consider all options.
Your son is on disciplinary and academic probation.
Oh my God.
Okay, House of Payne fans. Now, I don't know if somebody over at the House of Payne social media sites watched my latest upload, but basically I talked about a sneak peek, aka, hey, here are some photos of the episode where I talked about, will Miranda tell Laura and Calvin that she's pregnant or something like that? Essentially, it looks like she's having a woman-to-woman talk with Laura. Now, the thing is, in that video, I specifically said, hey, tonight's the final night of the 3-night revival at my church. Probably going to be heading out of here around 6:35-ish. So if BET drops a House of Payne clip before the episode and I'm gone by that time, then, you won't hear back from me until after the episode drops. And lo and behold, barely 11 or 12 minutes after I posted that video, BET or the House of Payne social media pages dropped the clip. So, yay, there you go. Like I said, if somebody over there looked at my video, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm doing this video for you. Or if it was already on schedule to drop around 4:30, oh well, I'm just talking to this myself here. But in any case, the clip itself was pretty good. And based off the ending of the clip where you hear that music that usually comes on before the theme instrumental does, this is probably the opening scene of the episode or close to it. Basically, a woman who works at the school has come by the condo to inform Laura and Calvin that Junior is, well, both on academic and he's also, he's basically hit with double probation, if you will. Double probation, given the fact that he's not really doing well in school on a personal or academic level. He's disrespectful to teachers and fellow classmates. And this is Mrs. Morgan. Mrs. Morgan, that's the name of the woman who has come by to inform Calvin and Laura about what's going on. But the fact that he's on double probation caught them off guard. Like, one thing to be on disciplinary probation, but she hits him with he's on academic probation too. So Calvin Sr. is taken aback by this, and he mentions how, hey, we're good people, and my children are raised to do better than this. And she's like, yeah, this is no judgment zone or anything like that. It's just that typically when we have students who are in a position like this, and she makes it clear that it's quite rare for a student to be on both forms of probation. And regardless of what probation, she does conduct these in-home visitations. So it's not something where, Junior is a special case and that's why she's doing it. But she is making them aware that, hey, being on both forms of probation is pretty rare, showing that Junior is definitely going through it. Now, she mentions that counseling is recommended, but Calvin kind of scoffs at that. It's like, oh, in my family, we pretty much don't really do counseling. We go to church and let God handle it. But Laura's like, we'll explore all our options. And Calvin's like, yeah, that. Which it's kind of odd because, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the original series, I'm pretty certain there was a therapy episode. I'm pretty sure that's when, Ella, Curtis, CJ, and the kids, they all went to counseling. Because I remember a part where they had, separate therapy sessions, and it's like, hey, well, can you tell us what you think of this person in the family and that person, that kind of thing. But when it boils down to it, you also look at, Janine. She went through counseling / rehab in her own sense. So I don't know. But then again, Calvin is Curtis Payne's son, so I don't know. But I thought it was going to be one of those situations like on Hey Arnold when, what was it called? Helga on the Couch. That was like a double-length episode where because of her own disciplinary action, she had to go to therapy for, an episode, and her dad is like, hey, you better not get on that couch and, start blabbing about the family. Basically indicating when a parent knows their kid has a lot of baggage, they tell them not to say anything, because then, they'll be coming for the parents for being bad parents and whatnot. So, yeah, with Calvin, I'm wondering how is this going to play out. Now, this could be why Miranda shows up. Possibly. Maybe she's noticed signs of Junior when she's keeping him. But they're trying to hash it out, because remember the synopsis says Calvin and Laura are hit with unexpected news. Well, rather than Miranda being pregnant, it seems that it's because of Junior's issues at school. But my thing is this. Is Junior yet again acting out? I don't know. Maybe because his mom and dad are states apart now, because, Tracy's in Texas with her new boyfriend. Is he lashing out because he's, experienced a lot of the tension at the condo? Not just between Calvin and his dad and Laura, but, the fact that Junior prefers Miranda to Laura, and Miranda being banned or being on probation of her own by not coming to the condo is impacting him as well. So they're also, and look, I doubt we're going to get this deep, but I would love if we did. Calvin having a real talk with his son, but here's the problem though. Real talks in this show usually go south when a person says, let's talk real, but then when one person is real and the other person doesn't like it, that leads to an explosion. Do you think on some level Junior is lashing out because he's, dealing with the stress and pressure of knowing his dad is playing two women, and he's fearful that his dad is going to marry the wrong person? Because remember, he's like, why don't you and Miss Miranda get back together? No, and don't you ever say anything like that again. That probably had an impact on him. And I know that he and Junior kind of sort of worked it out at the end of the episode, but I don't think so. I think that Junior's, lashing out and whatnot is yet again another example of problems at home being brought to school. And yeah, so what do you think about this? The fact that Junior's lashing out could be a byproduct of more issues at home. Do you think this is going to lead to Miranda and Laura talking it out? Because Junior mentions how the tension within, the house is pretty heavy on him. So for the sake of Junior, they hash it out. This will be pretty interesting though, because when you really think about it, the past few episodes have been like, Miranda is Christian's mom and you got to work with her co-parenting wise. Yet in this episode, we see these two finally sit down and talk, but it has to do with Junior. So yeah, let's wait and see how it turns out. But what is it? It's 4:50. I'm going to go ahead and whip this video together and post it on the channel. This will probably be my last upload before I go to church in a couple hours. I'm about to get my clothes ready. It's like 90 degrees, so I'm just going to wear me, a button-up shirt, some slacks, and, get out the door in a couple hours. But hoping for a good night. The last two nights were straight bangers, one preach after another. Tonight, I hope we wrap things up in a great way. Yeah, stay hydrated. I've been drinking a lot more water because next week it's supposed to be in the high 90s and hundreds. And no. I'm glad revival's this week. But in other news, thanks to those who joined in the live stream last night. If you know, you know. We had a decent time. I know it was a touchy subject, but we had a pretty good conversation. And as far as I know, there have been no updates today. Some media outlets have been covering the TP news, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Of course, if anything major happens, then I'll drop my 2 cents. And that's pretty much it. So House of Payne later tonight. I will try to get my review up tomorrow if possible, because I know my reviews have been sometimes Friday, latest Saturday. I want to try to get that review up tomorrow if I can. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the clip. The full clip is available across social media, or just wait for the night when the full episode drops.